Well, I'm Whitney, and I am an Alpha Phi at Oregon State. So you want to know like what Rush was like at Oregon State? Is anyone going to Oregon State? Okay, well, it's kind of similar. I went through 3 days of Go Greek days, and for there I have 11 houses at Oregon State, and I would go to each one, talk to every like girl like in the house, and then I would give my top 8 houses that I liked, and then we'd have a break day, and I'd come back and I'd get a sheet of paper and see what houses I'd go tour. But I also give my bottom 3, so if like a house would drop you, then houses that you dropped would come up, and you have to go to that, and so like that'll like happen if you get dropped, and it's fine. So then I like did philanthropy days, and you just find out what like the house does like for their philanthropy, and then after you tour those 8 houses, then you give them your top 5, and then you just do house tours, and then the next day is preference night, so you only go to 2 houses, and then for that night you say like your favorite house, like the one you like want to be in, and then the next day is bid day. And so, I mean, and then it's possible like if you like put your number 1 house, you could get dropped from it, so you get your second house or no house. And so that's how I got Alpha Phi. But so yeah, that was fun for me. What was yours like?
So I go to University of Oregon, and I don't know, are any of you guys going there? But I'm in Kappa Kappa Gamma, and it's a really similar process. We don't have the day in between though. It's like 6 days straight of recruitment. It's like the first 3 days you wear like, they give you a t-shirt to wear, and you can wear like, I don't know if you really wear jeans, but like I don't know what you really wore for it.
You were like casual the first 3 days.
Yeah,
and
like
day got more and more
jeans.
fancy.
Like I wore like dark jeans, like you can wear black jeans. Most places give you a shirt because it's like about like being like equal, so it's like based on personality. So the first 3 days you go to like the houses, like 3 houses, 3 out of the 10 or however many, and then the next day, after those 3 days, you go. It's philanthropy, and then house, and then or home tour, and then prep night. But for us, I think we had 3. You get to choose 3, and then bid day. And so ours was really exhausting. It's a very exhausting process, but my advice is like push through. Like there was girls in my hall who decided, it's just like you're so drained and you just like are very emotional, especially if you get dropped from houses that you wanted to be in. Like my roommate got dropped the first day from like the house that she thought was her top house, and she was like bummed about it, but it's for a reason. Like the process really does work, and you end up at the house you're supposed to be. Most of my friends who like went through recruitment are really happy now in the houses that they are in, and I don't know, I feel like you just have to trust the process, but I definitely can say like just push through, because people dropped out like throughout that first week of recruitment because they were so tired and they're just like, it's not worth it, and then later on they regretted it. But
it's definitely like, it like really hurts your self-esteem that week. Like I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Because you're like going through it, and like you're like talking to all these people, and like, oh my gosh, like all these girls like really like me, like, oh, I'm so cool. Yeah. And then you like your sheet back the next day, and you're like, wow, like I thought that girl liked me. Why am I dropped from that house?
And sometimes you really can't take it personally. Sometimes people get dropped
for the most random reasons.
Yeah, for like GPA, like in high school. I don't really know. Like
that's what happened to me.
It's like the beginning. It's hard because some people just get dropped. It's like a weird process. I don't know why. Like they were like on the list, but they just weren't high enough. But
it definitely like sucks when you get dropped from a house. But like it like happens, and like you're gonna like end up in like the house that like works out for you. Like I didn't think that I was gonna be in Alpha Phi at Oregon State. Like I thought I was gonna be in like this other house. But then I got dropped from that other house, and I was like, oh wow, that's such a bummer. But now I like really like Alpha Phi, and like my best friends are like in that house. So
my biggest fear, I think, before Rush is I don't know, I was like really scared that I was just like not gonna get into one. I think that's a lot of people's like fear. You know, you're like a decently outgoing person, but there's always that thought in the back of your head, like, I don't know, am I gonna like be able to get into a house? But
that does happen though. Like I know a couple girls who just didn't get into a house because they just got dropped from like everything, but that's because like I don't know. You have to
really put yourself out there.
You have to put yourself out there.
And like you just have to, I don't know, you have to be very. I know a girl in my house. She's gonna be a junior this year, but like my freshman year, her freshman year, she got dropped from all the houses because she was like really socially awkward going through rush. And then this past year she rushed again, and now she's in my house and she's really cool. She actually went to Lake Ridge, and you just have to like. Just know like it's okay to be nervous. They know you're nervous. I mean, some of them are nervous too because it's like stressful choosing the girls, but you just have to know like you just have to be open and like I don't know. For me, to be honest, I kind of like not like active, but you act certain ways around certain houses because the personalities are like very different, and like I don't know if you can kind of like read like. People, you can kind of go off of that, but if like you, I don't know, like there were some houses in the back of my mind, I was talking to them and I could tell they really liked me, and I was like, I really don't like this house, but the house that you feel like actually like very natural in, that's the house that you probably should be in.
Yeah, it's like important if like you find the house that you really like, you have to be like, oh my gosh, like this house is like awesome, and like if it's getting like farther along, farther along the process, just be like, I could totally see myself in this house, and like they'll either be like, oh my gosh, me too, or they just won't say anything and they'll be kind of awkward, but like.
How much prep work did you girls do before your rush? Did you
my
do
mom
a lot of work ahead of time?
My mom made me, she got me what are they called? Letters of recommendation?
Oh yeah.
She made it for, like,
letters of recommendation, like they're good to have because it shows that like you're like really interested in the Greek system.
You don't necessarily need them, but I do think
it's not necessary.
Helps. And then like, I mean, if you're a legacy somewhere, that obviously helps always. And I didn't really do that much prep.
I didn't really look into it that much. I kind of went into it like blindsided. I thought I was just like, oh, I'll just go and I'll talk to like a bunch of girls and like it'll be fine. But like, it's good to like look into it more and like, I don't know, go on like the internet and be like, how to go through Rush in a good way or something.
My mom got like really stressed out about like what I was gonna wear. She got more.
Do they tell you what to wear?
You should look up like Pinterest boards of like Rush Week, because usually, so the first 3 days or the first couple of days for most schools now, they give you like the shirt. So like I recommend like a dark wash of jeans. And since you're going to different houses those 3 days, or like the day that you wear the shirts, you're not going to be going to the same house. You could even wear the same jeans. Like they're not going to know. And then the other days, I got a lot of clothes that I didn't end up wearing. But like usually they have you not wear black or white on pref night because the houses wear black or white. Yeah. I wore white anyways, and the house that I got in was wearing white, but they didn't care. And then I wore a dress a couple days, and I wore like a cute sweater with like leggings and like dressed it up.
It's important to wear comfortable shoes.
Oh yeah.
And then if you're wearing like, if it's like a kind of fancier night, you could bring like your heels and like change into them. But I don't know, like for my prep night, I just wear like kind of like a warp style dress or like a winter formal style.
They're not gonna judge you
like,
really that much on your outfit.
Yeah, and you shouldn't wear anything like slutty or revealing, because then they'll be like, this girl is so weird.
And
like, why is she like doing that?
And you shouldn't talk about partying, obviously, or boys. And I don't know, you want to be unique. That's like they ask about your major. You want to make it unique because you want them to remember you. So talk about like, I don't know, it's like around the time of Halloween. At least at U of O, it's like it was really early October. I'm like, what are you gonna do for Halloween? Like, or like if you're into music or like things that you're interested in, that's not like super generic. So then they're like, we'll remember you, and you'll find something in common that's really cool. Like if you like the same artist or something.
But yeah, it's like really important not to talk about drinking or boys, like what she said, because that's not what the sisterhood is about.
Or like other fraternities.
Yeah, it's like, that's really not what it's about. It's about like getting into like a house with girls who are similar to you and like making friendships and not drinking and like me having boyfriends. Like it really doesn't matter. And if like you start talking about that, then the people will probably start to think like, oh, this is like the only thing that girl cares about. Like I don't want her in our sisterhood. Because that's what I was talking to older girls in my house about. They like told me that like a bunch of girls were talking about a bunch of like fraternities and like how they drink a bunch and they didn't like want her like in the house, and so she didn't get in it, and that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. Is it helpful to look and see if there are other girls that you like from like Oswego, either high school that you possibly knew or
And,
sort
like,
of know of in the houses before you started, so you had a
Oh,
connection
yeah.
with someone before you rushed?
I would say it definitely helps. Like, and it even helps for the people like you guys going through recruitment because you get an idea of like, I really like this person. Like, I like could see myself being in a house with them because like they're very much like me. Or you could see like I really don't like that person. I feel like they're like not someone I want to surround myself with. And it does help. And if you don't have that, it's a lot harder. Like I know going out of state can be harder. It can be nice because
It's like a fresh start,
yeah,
and so no one will like know you.
for some people it's nice, and then for some people not so much. It just depends, like I think, on your reputation too. Like here, if you're going to school where you do know a lot of people and they like you, that's a good thing that will help you because like people who know you, it can benefit you if you.
And then also could pretty like hurt you.
Yeah.
Did you guys talk about NCL at all? And during
When they asked me like
Philanthropy
Philanthropy
Day
days
would
are
be the day where you would talk about it.
yeah, I did like a lot of volunteer work in high school. And
It
they did,
depends
like,
what
talk
their
about that. I know. I think I brought it up a little bit.
Yeah, you can relate it to their philanthropy sometimes. And be like, oh, I did something like with this, and I don't know. I don't remember if I brought it up.
When during rush, I know I asked a lot of questions about the house, cause like, and it kind of like showed that I was like interested in like the houses, and that's important to be like, oh, like what is this house like? Like why did you choose this house? Cause then they'll be like, oh, like this girl like wants to know like what we're like about. Like she should like keep coming back.
Even if you don't want to live in, I'm not living in next year. Pretend you do because they want people who are gonna live in, and so you just like, yeah, you want to be interested.
Is it required to live in sororities?
It is in my house.
It's like kind of, I don't know, some are stricter than others. Like I have a pretty big class. There was like 60, 40, 60, I don't remember. There's like a lot of us though, and so there's only a certain amount of places in the house, and that got like met, and so not everyone had to live in, and some houses you don't live in. Like I know a girl, she's not living in, she wanted to live in, but she didn't have enough points or something. Like I don't know what that was about, but it's for the most part it's required to live in. Like
Yeah, it's
basically
required for
all
my
of
house
them.
to live in. I'm going to be living with like 50 girls, like 50, 60 girls next year in my house. And I just sleep in a sleeping porch. I mean, do you guys all know what that is?
Yeah.
I'm not excited. But it'll be fun. Like, I'm excited to live with like my push class, and like that's like when I'm going to get like really close with all of them.
Yeah, you
So that's what I'm
definitely
excited about.
you definitely like get like these. It's really cool. I don't know. In high school, like I was friends with like a lot of like guys, and like at school, I don't know. Being in a sorority, a lot of the girls were the same way, and like it's weird having all these like friends that are girls that are like my best friends, but they're all like we're all, I don't know, like not tomboys, but kind of just like very like laid back and
It's not girly.
yeah, just not super girly, but it's weird because we're all in a sorority together. So you find a house that like really will be good for you. I mean, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Don't you find within a house though, like if you're living with 60 people, you're not all alike? I mean, there's lots of different.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
no. There's a lot of different personalities, but it all like works together in the same house. And so it's gonna be really fun, like getting to know everyone and like just like seeing like how everyone like acts. Like you're never gonna live with 50 girls like ever again. And so that's what I'm excited about. It'll be different. I definitely will not have any privacy, but it's only for like a couple months, so 9.